Pochi's world was turned upside down in an instant. One moment, he was a high school student sitting in his room, and the next, he found himself transformed into a small, fluffy dog. Bewildered, he looked at his tiny paws and wagged his tail, trying to grasp the enormity of his new reality. The room around him was cozy and luxurious, with plush dog beds and an assortment of toys scattered about. As he tried to make sense of everything, the door creaked open, and Inukai-san, a strikingly beautiful and kind high school girl, entered the room. Her eyes sparkled with delight when she spotted him. "Oh my gosh, you're so cute!" she exclaimed, kneeling beside him. Inukai-san's gentle hands reached out to pet him. Her touch was soft and comforting, but Pochi's confusion only grew. Pochi attempted to bark in protest, but ended up letting out an adorable yip instead. Inside, he thought, "I can't believe this is happening. What does she want from me now?" Inukai-san scooped him up and cradled him in her arms. "Welcome to your new home, Pochi," she cooed, her affection palpable. As Pochi looked up at her, he realized that life as a dog might be even more complicated than he had imagined. As days passed, Pochi gradually adjusted to his new life with Inukai-san, but his longing for his old human life never fully faded. One morning, as Inukai-san prepared to leave for school, Pochi's restlessness grew. He was determined to escape and find a way back to his previous life. With a determined look in his eyes, Pochi used his newfound agility to dart around the house, trying to find an exit. With a determined look in his eyes, Pochi used his newfound agility to dart around the house, trying to find an exit. However, his attempts were constantly hindered by Momo, the household cat, who seemed to take great pleasure in Pochi's struggles. Momo would swat playfully at him or block his path with a smug expression. Despite Momo's interference, Pochi managed to nudge open the door and began to slip out. His heart raced with hope. But just as he was about to make his escape, Inukai-san appeared in the doorway, holding a freshly made doggy treat. Pochi's eyes locked onto the treat, and his resolve wavered. Inukai-san's eyes were warm and caring as she said, "Pochi, you're so clever, but you're not going anywhere without me." She set the treat down, and Pochi, caught between his escape plan and the irresistible treat, hesitated. The lure of the treat seemed to pull him back. Momentarily forgetting his plans for freedom, Pochi's new life began to settle into a rhythm. He and Inukai-san spent their days together, enjoying playful moments in the park. Pochi would chase after balls and leap with joy, his tail wagging furiously. Inukai-san's laughter and praise filled him with a sense of happiness he hadn't expected. As they sat together on a park bench, Pochi basked in the warmth of the sun, reflecting on his new life. Inside, he mused, "I never imagined I'd end up loving this life, but seeing her smile makes it all worthwhile." The sky began to darken as a storm approached, and Pochi noticed Inukai-san's worried expression. The sky began to darken as a storm approached, and Pochi noticed Inukai-san's worried expression. Her usual cheerful demeanor was replaced with concern as she looked at the ominous clouds overhead. Pochi, sensing her unease, sprang into action. He nudged her gently, guiding her towards a nearby shelter. As they huddled together under the cover of the shelter, the rain began to patter around them. Pochi nestled close to Inukai-san, feeling a warmth that transcended any human-to-dog boundaries. Inukai-san stroked his fur gratefully, and Pochi reflected, maybe being a dog isn't so bad after all. The storm raged on outside, but within the shelter, a bond had formed that would carry them through whatever challenges lay ahead.